Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Houston, Texas. It's time for Houston Business Radio. Now, here's your host.
Hello, Houston. Trisha Stetzel here, bringing you another episode of Houston Business Radio Beyond the Uniform series. I have a very good friend of mine on with me today. We've got something very special to talk about. John Cacolice, Vice President of the Houston Regional Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Trisha. I appreciate it. So glad to be here with you. Always a pleasure. We don't do this often enough, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, we don't. It's so hard for us to get together. It's terrible.
It's trying to get our schedules aligned up doesn't work all the time.
All right. So we're both serving the chamber. A lot of people who already know me and follow me know that I've been involved with the chamber since I think Dennis and I were members 5 and 6. You and Dave.
I think you're actually 3 and 4 to be perfectly honest.
3 and 4. And your lovely wife was the one that introduced all of us. Me, Cacolice. So I'm so glad that she did that. She actually, I think, brought the core of us together from the very beginning. And I really appreciate all the work that you're doing in the chamber. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that you also have a business. So can we start there and then we'll move our way into talking about the chamber and the event that's coming up?
Certainly, ma'am. So I own a real estate brokerage in South Houston with another Army veteran. Ben Ramos is actually my brother from a different mother. I couldn't have done it without him. I've known him longer than I've known my wife. And so we've always known we wanted to do something, and he got into real estate a few years ago, and he dragged me kicking and screaming about 8 years ago. And we could never look back. It's been a great ride, and I don't know that I could work for anybody else, to be perfectly honest. I'm kind of ingrained in my own habits. But yeah, so I do real estate anywhere basically south of I-10. That's my bailiwick. I can do anywhere else in Texas. I choose not to. It's a certain level of customer service I like to provide. That's why I'd rather farm it out to a veteran real estate agent somewhere else and let them be the subject matter expert for that area. But anything south of I-10, I got you.
I love that. And you can find John all over social media. I'm sure he's out there. It's very busy guy. Cacolice. So John, before we jump into chamber stuff, I'd really be interested in your take on how your military service set you up to be a great business owner.
Man, that's a great, so let's rephrase the question a little bit. So let's take a 23-year-old college grad and put him out in the open market. What does he really know? He knows high school, he knows college, he knows how to study, right? He knows how to pass tests. Now I take a 23-year-old Army specialist, Army E6, and I put him against him. This guy's been in command of something, has been in charge of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of equipment, and to include human lives, most likely. So I would leverage his skill set against any other 23-year-olds out there. Now my military service, Trisha, I was an Army officer. I was an Army combat engineer. What that taught me, I'm a school trained mechanical engineer, Army combat engineer. What those skill sets have taught me is how to be tenacious. I do not fail. I would rather work around or plow through than give up. And one of the bulwarks of my business acumen is that, and I ask everybody, is what is the opposite of success? And most everybody, and I've asked this question almost 500,000 times, the opposite of success is failure. I said, no, indeed it is not. It is quitting. The opposite of success is quitting. And if you're not willing to fail hard and fail fast, you will never be able to succeed. And I think that's the hallmark of the military is we don't mind failing. We don't mind running hard at an idea and getting it done. And if it doesn't work, we just pick up the pieces and move out. And that is what military personnel are really good at, is improvising, adapting, and overcoming situations that are thrown at them. So you take that out of the military and you change the uniform a little bit, and then you apply that to the civilian sector. We're a force to be reckoned with, Trisha. I don't know of many military veterans who are willing to roll over and play dead. That just doesn't happen. I don't know it. So, as far as what the military has brought me, that is easily it. That we are to be counted, and we are a force multiplier. Period. Full stop.
Yeah. And, all of this then, John, plays into the mission behind the chamber and really finding our brothers and sisters out there who have not yet stepped forward and said, I'm a veteran and I own a business. You and I, we've talked a lot about this, right? We spent years not leading with, I'm a veteran and I own a business. And it wasn't because either of us were embarrassed or didn't want to talk about it. It just wasn't part of our identity at the time, right?
Right.
Until we got involved in the chamber, did we start finally leading with that. And, it's such an interesting thing. And I don't think people think about it this way, but I believe that the veteran community is the largest minority, or the most diverse minority, the most diverse minority out there, because
Easily.
we're all so different, yet we speak the same language and we know how to support each other and we never quit. And that's we never quit. I appreciate you bringing that in.
Yep.
All right, let's jump into then. I'm so glad you came on the show today. Like, I'm just enlightened hearing you say that already. I'm like, I'm going to have such a great afternoon. Let's talk about the chamber. So Houston Regional Veterans Chamber of Commerce serves small business owners in basically, I feel like it's across all of North America, because we even have members in California, right?
Tricia, I'd bring up the map, and our map goes across. We have members in California. We have members in Minnesota. I mean, go figure.
We're here to support, right?
Well, so the message is the same no matter where you go. The fact that we're in Houston is almost irrelevant. Most of the things we do and advocate for will transplant to anywhere you go. There are programs and opportunities in every one of those cities. The question is, how do you find them? How do you plug into them? And if you find the one that lives in Houston, chances are they can connect you to the one where you live. And so the location for the Veterans Chamber of Commerce is agnostic. Wherever you are, there's something there that can support you, that can do what we do here. You can do it there too. It is frustrating, though, Tricia, that we as a nation over 250 years old, we're just now recognizing this.
Mm-hmm.
We're only 3.5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And when we started this thing 3.5 years ago, I looked at Dave and we said, surely there's something like this already in existence. No, we are the second largest or the fourth largest metropolis in the United States, second largest veteran population. And no one thought to do this. What? That's the one. Yeah. So Tricia, what we do is, and you've alluded to it, but what we do is we help, and I don't want to say small businesses, because we have some very large businesses that are veteran owned and operated. What we help them do is, one, recognize that they are a veteran. That's a message. That's a thing. People want to support the veteran owned business. They just don't know where to find this. And that's our fault. And let's put it, for instance, the guy next door says, oh my gosh, I just started a business. I got a great business coach. You may know him. So you didn't even think to hire me? Well, he may not have known you're a business coach because you didn't tell him.
Uh-huh.
Whose fault is that?
Right.
Whose fault is that? Right. The guy across the street puts his home up for sale and puts another realtor's sign in the yard. Drives me nuts. Because why? Whose fault is that? Every day I back out of my driveway, I see that sign, and I think, you know what? I never had that conversation with that guy. Whose fault is it? Well, here I am, veteran-owned business. They're like, oh, I'd love to support a veteran-owned business, but I don't know where to find them. Whose fault is that? That is our fault. And so we help that veteran-owned business recognize themselves, stand up and say, hey, I am here to be counted. One time I raised my hand and I swore an oath to my nation, up to and including my life. And that is worth something. And most people recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the challenge we have as the veteran is you don't introduce yourself as, hey, I'm, Tricia Stetzel, Results Extreme. And I used to do this. And previous to that, I was a Navy. We just don't go there, right? I don't talk about the fact that I was a manager for Cintas uniforms, or the fact that it was a thing I did. I don't do anymore. So why talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is so much more than that. It is a sworn and solemn oath. We swore an oath. How many things in your life have you sworn an oath to?
Mm-hmm.
Probably your God, probably your husband,
Mm-hmm.
and your nation. What else?
Yeah.
That's it.
It's huge.
It's kind of a big deal. And we just don't, who cares? No, everybody cares. Everybody cares.
They do.
So
And
that's where we approach it.
And I think I run into so many veterans that don't even see themselves as veterans. Many of them. Oh, I was just in the reserves, or, oh, I only served 2 years, or, oh, stop. you're a veteran. You took the oath and you served your country in some capacity. You're a veteran. So the mission of our chamber is to get out and make sure that business owners who are veterans, one, they know about us, right? And that they speak up. We got to get them on the map and we want to get them connected. It's not, hear me say this, it is not about handouts. It is not about handouts. And I think often as a veteran, I don't ask for help because I don't need a handout. I'm not going to quit and I'm just going to go do it myself, right? I know you're laughing, but it's you.
No, I will throw more rocks in my rucksack. I'll do more push-ups. I will outwork the problem before I ask for help.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's not what this is about. This is about creating a community of people all moving in the same direction, which is creating this beautiful ecosystem of veterans supporting veterans and even bringing in, what do we call them? Passionate patriots to support veterans as well, right? Which is going to lead me into Wings Over Houston.
I love it.
Yes.
Yes.
Because Bill Roach serves as a passionate patriot on our board for the Houston Regional Veterans Chamber of Commerce, but he is also, I believe, is an executive director. I don't know his title for
Wings Over Houston. Executive director for Wings Over Houston. Has been for at least 20 years now.
Yes. So let's talk about what Wings Over Houston and the Houston Regional Veterans Chamber of Commerce are doing. And this is in October. So let's give the date and let's talk about how we get people involved.
Absolutely. So Tricia, Wings Over Houston is the largest air show on the Gulf Coast. It is on 26 and 27 October, and it will bring, on average, about 100,000 people a day will come to this event. It is massive. It occupies all of Ellington Field, and it is a force and direct. It is a show of shows. It is amazing. And this year, I think we have the Blue Angels. So, and matter of fact, the Veterans Chamber is actually doing all the graphics for Wings Over Houston this year. So if you see those posters and stuff, you know that we did that. But what we did a few years ago was actually last year, we actually had a Veterans Business Expo at the George R. Brown. And we thought, man, this is such a fantastic idea. That was spawned from this event from years previous. We actually brought veteran-owned businesses to a table. When we started, we had one booth. And we had 8 veteran-owned businesses in this one booth. And everyone thought that was such a great idea. And the next year we said, well, let's make it bigger. And so we had a 20 by 10 booth. And we brought 20 veteran-owned businesses. And everyone's like, this is amazing. So last year we did a 40 by 60 booth, and we had almost 48 veteran-owned businesses in that booth. And we had 10,000 people a day come running through that booth, both veterans and civilians alike, coming through. Passionate patriots, they were just ecstatic that there was veterans who were doing commerce in Houston. There was a guy, Tricia, I kid you not, and no hyperbole whatsoever. This guy drove from Minnesota, and he brought a trailer full of woodworking gear and all of the stuff that he had spent months preparing. And he was going to hit our trade show, hopefully do some commerce there, and then hit about 6 other trade shows on his way home. We were the first in line. He almost $25,000 on $11,000 on Saturday. And by the time he was done on Sunday, $25,000, and he had nothing left. He had to cancel 2 of the trade shows because he sold out. Yeah. And so we actually made his month. We paid for the trip, paid for the gas, paid for the hotel, and made his month in profit on Saturday. Everything else was icing on the cake. And he said, listen, when you do this again, you call me because I'm coming back. And he was first to sign up for this year. He drive in from Minnesota. I mean, what? It was amazing. My God.
So you shared with me that this year it's even bigger. Yeah?
It's even bigger. Last year we had a 40 by 60. This year it's 40 by 120. So we took a $1,600 booth and we blew it up. And because of Bill Roach's generosity, we made it at 40 by 120. Now, let's be honest, we're paying for this booth. It's a very expensive booth. And so we're only charging each veteran business, instead of the $1,600 per booth that everybody else at Windsor Houston charges, for our membership, it's $300. And for non-members, it's only $400.
Wow.
We're not trying to turn a profit. We're just covering the insurance, heat, light, and music. And for that price, Tricia, you would get a table, 2 chairs, 2 lunches per day. You get your own VIP area where you can go, Sometimes you just need a break, right? It's a long day. And sometimes you just go take a break. So we got snacks, drinks, waters, and all the things back in the VIP area. And then we have our own secluded backyard. It's fenced off. Nobody else comes through our backyard where you can sit and watch the air show if you want to.
Oh my God.
And by the way, we are smack dab. You don't get more geographically centered into Wings Over Houston than our booth. It is the center of Wings Over Houston. And so the Blue Eagles come freaking right over our head every year. And it is fantastic. It's like nothing you've ever seen.
Okay, John. So if I heard you correctly, Houston Regional Veterans Chamber of Commerce members only pay $300 for a table at Wings Over Houston for 2 days.
For 2 days.
And if you're not a member, it's only $400.
It's only $400.
How many
and
tables?
For that, you get lunches. You get over $100 in lunches.
You get that, and you get to see the show. All right. How many tables do we have available?
And we pay for your event insurance, by the way, which is a thing.
Wow. That's
we cover
awesome. That is amazing. All right. How many?
So we have about 20 tables sold. We need about 20 more. And they're going fast because we just lowered the price to $300. That was our pre-sale price. It went up and we said, you know what? We don't need to make a profit off this. We just need to showcase the veteran-owned business. That's what this is about. So let's go back to our pre-sale price and just run hard at it and do for Houston what the veteran did for the nation.
I love that.
Right.
That's
and serve.
Amazing. All right. Wings Over Houston, 25th and
26th, 26th and 27th.
26th and 27th of October. In order to secure the table, I'm assuming they can go to the Houston Regional Veterans Chamber of Commerce website.
Correct, ma'am.
And find.
And if they go to the events calendar,
go to the event
and they click on 26th October, it will pop right up and they can register right there.
That is so easy. I'm going to put that in the show notes as well. So anybody who's watching or listening, go click on the link and sign up. And by the way, if you're not a veteran, but you know one, please, please, please pass this information along to them because we need to have a really big showing at Wings Over Houston.
It's important.
I'm so excited that you came on with me today.
Thank you.
Any words of wisdom as we close up?
So I want to talk about two things, actually, Trish. You brought up one earlier. There are veterans out there who said, hey, I was just a pack clerk, or I just turned wrenches. I really wasn't a combat veteran. Listen, did you serve your nation honorably? Did you go where you were told? Did you do what you were ordered to do? Okay, where you went and what you did was not up to you. You followed orders. You moved out and drew fire. That's what you were ordered to do. And so you were every bit of a veteran as the guy missing 2 limbs and who jumped out of aircraft and went in harm's way. You were every much a veteran as that guy. And don't discount yourself. You served your nation honorably, and that's all I need to know about you. Everything else, I'll figure it out on the fly. Let's go. And as far as the veteran-owned businesses, I want you to understand that it is not necessarily for you that you get this booth. Because let me tell you, a lot of veterans come through that booth and they're a slave to the grind. They're working for somebody else and they have an idea. There's a spark in there that they want to start a business. They don't know how or what or why. It is important that every veteran-owned business gets in this booth and talks about their experience. Because Tricia, that's what we have in common, right? You and I can talk Navy, Army all we want. And we get it. We can use 3-letter acronyms. We can have a whole conveison. Nobody else gets it, but we're laughing. Right?
Yep.
And that's the key. And so when that veteran comes through and sees Tricia standing behind the table and he's got it, you got your tchotchkes out there and you're doing commerce, you're conducting business and you're supporting yourself. That spark becomes reality. He says, I can do this. Mm-hmm. I too can do this. And we've just created a business owner and that former employee, former veteran, or now veteran. We've changed that guy's trajectory. That soldier, now civilian, now gets to do for himself what he's been doing for others all along. And that is inspiring. And to watch somebody call me and say, John, I have an idea. How do I start this thing? I've got you. I've got you. Yeah. Here's what you're going to do. And I give him the step-by-step plan. First thing you're going to do is get your letters of incorporation done. And you're going to call my dear friend, Greg Shigamasa in Austin. He's going to hook you up. And then you're going to go, and once you're done with that, you're going to go talk to Robbie over at HEC. You're going to go through an entrepreneurship class for free. Mm-hmm. And oh my gosh, you see this guy's head pop off because he didn't know any of this was here. And it has all existed the entire time. No one knew about it.
Yeah. Well, and we built it. Right. And now we want people to come. We built it. Now they should come.
We created a framework, an ecosystem that you can now operate in as a military veteran. I would tell them as a military veteran that you can operate in and be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And too many of us, Tricia, are geared to do it by ourselves. When in the Navy were you ever sent anywhere by yourself to do anything?
Never.
Never. But you pop out as a civilian and say, well, let me throw the blinders on. I got this. Are you out of your mind? You've never been trained for this.
Right?
I'm in your foxhole already. Just look left, look right, and ask for help. I got you. I got you, man. Give me your rucksack. I'll carry it for a mile. Then you can carry mine for a mile. We'll go.
Mm-hmm.
We got this.
Feels like home.
It does. It does feel like home.
It does. John, thanks so much for being on the show with me today. That was very
Anytime, man.
I know it's hard to pin you down.
I know. There's no moss growing on me. So, yeah.
I know. We're all busy. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. You guys, if you're interested in being a part of this event at Wings Over Houston, please go to the website. I've put it in the show notes. Point, click, and register. And please, for gosh sake, share it with all of the people that you know and get them to share it with their friends. Yes, all right, Mr. Cacolice, thanks again.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you so very much. And all of you've done for the chamber, you and your husband are generous supports. You actually, as sitting as the president of the board, you are chairman of the board, excuse me. You are a force to be reckoned with in your own self. And you also own multiple businesses. So don't anybody keep you down. You got this.
Thanks, John. That's all the time we have for today's show. Join us next time for another exciting episode of Houston Business Radio. Until then, stay tuned, stay inspired, and keep thriving in the Houston business community.